afternoon, Jacks and Jills. I am Monsieur Demouy, and this is 3-Minute Meta. In this third installment, we are going to cover defensive joust schemes. So I'm going to throw a whole bunch of numbers at you, and then we're going to break them down. 211, 121, 112, 22, and 1111, though we're just going to call this man from here on. These are your basic defensive joust schemes. With the exception of man coverage, the three numbers correspond to three assignments in the following order: forecheck, midfield, and backfield. The numbers represent how many players you are committing to each of these assignments, and pairs typically represent chain pairs. So we'll start with the most common, and so likely the one most familiar to you, the 211. This scheme is typically run by sending a chain in the direction of the opposing team's quarterback, sending one player up to mid, typically to cover a pass option, and leaving a player back to guard against long shots, deep passes, and clears. It's the most common style of defensive coverage because it also tends to be the safest to run. Any players you send deep are in a pair and so can boost back on defense. There's a goalie protecting the bubble and goal, and the midfield player is not too far out to generally get caught behind the play if the offense progresses through mid. Conversely, a 1-2-1 scheme, while used a fair bit at the competitive level, is also a generally vulnerable scheme. This scheme sends a single player in the direction of the quarterback while setting a chain up to attack the first or second pass. The aggressive nature of the play does lead to some moderate success in forcing a quick turnover, but if the play does not succeed, there's a fair chance that the forechecking player will be caught well behind the play, and thus the offense may be able to push a 4v3 all the way to the goal. This is not to say that the 1-2-1 should not be used, only that you should be aware of the dangers when deploying this scheme. The 2-2 scheme is one that utilizes two defensive chains, generally one to attack the quarterback and one to attack the first pass, or some other combination of similar assignments. It's an incredibly flexible strategy given the mobility of having all players on the field in boosting pairs, but it can also be vulnerable to tube shots and long bounce shots if the chains are not quick enough to track down those shots. The 1-1-2 scheme you might consider as more of an alternative to the 2-2 scheme, where instead of sending a pair at the QB, that pair splits with one going to QB and one covering a pass option. This makes the first pass more predictable for the back chain, and so they can set up in a more favorable position to attack. And finally, man coverage is probably one of the most aggressive formations a defense can utilize. This scheme sends each player to cover each of the opposing team's players one-on-one. The idea is to take out all available options while also applying a pressure to the quarterback in order to force a bad pass or otherwise any manner of turnover. So long as you're aware of the position of your teammates and can quickly get back together to change your bubble in the event that the coverage breaks down, man coverage should only be moderately more vulnerable than a 2-2 or 1-1-2. So now I'm curious, what sorts of defensive schemes have you seen deployed? Which ones do you consider the most effective? Do you think I missed something or got something wrong? Or do you have any ideas for other 3-minute metas? Please leave them all in the comments below this video. I will be reading through all of them, so feedback is greatly appreciated. But that's it for this installment of 3-minute meta. In the next, we are going to cover initial attack vectors. I've been Monsieur Demouy. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Good afternoon, Jacks and Jills. I'm Monsieur Demouy, and this is 3-Minute Meta. Let's talk about bubble offense. So you just got your team through mid, and you're now set to attack the bubble. There are two primary formations when attacking the bubble, deep and shallow. In a deep formation, you will typically have your backliner around double diamond or otherwise in the backfield. Two of your forwards will generally be split on either side of the trench, and you'll tend to have a striker somewhere in the bubble putting threat on the goal. The shallow formation is basically just a compressed version of the deep formation, putting the backline on or around bow tie, and with all three forwards either pressing the bubble or putting threat on the goal. The primary purpose of both formations is for the backliner to first draw out a defender, and for your team to press a numbers advantage. The ideal situation would see the backliner disabling this defender and rejoining the play. But even if the backliner gets tangled up, the numbers situation is still better for the offense. When considering the numbers when attacking the bubble, it is fair to consider the goalie as half a body. So even in what otherwise appears to be a 3v3 situation, it is functionally more like a 3v2.5 due to the fact that the goalie is committed to staying in goal but can still dive after cross passes and for 1v1s. So when we're talking about pressing this numbers advantage, it doesn't necessarily mean that the backliner is rejoining the play. So long as the backliner pulls that defender out, the three forwards can press a numbers advantage. Following this logic, logic, however, means that going in 4v4 also presents a numbers advantage, but with so many bodies in the bubble, the spatial advantage will generally go to the defense. With too many bodies in such a small area, too many lanes are intersecting, and multiple lanes can be more easily covered by a single person. So pulling that defender out is typically the most efficient way to attack the bubble, for even if your backliner fails at getting back into the play, you are still in a more ideal situation. By attacking with a numbers advantage, you ensure that at least one of your players is mostly free of defensive coverage for the duration of the attack. This means that there's always an open lane to be exploited, and it's just a matter of executing on these open lanes until a viable shot lane or cut option presents itself. If for some reason you're unable to find that lane, consider a reset, as that fourth defender at that point is likely rejoining the play, and the more you try to force it forward, the more likely you are to make a mistake. It is also important to note my heavy use of words like tend to and typically in regards to these formations. The only real guidelines I would offer as far as your exact positioning is to stay spread out, always have threat on the goal, and be mindful of your backline. If at any point in time, from when you gain possession of the disc to when you are attacking the bubble, if you manage to get a defender stuck behind your backline, you have the advantage, and you should press and maintain this advantage all the way to the goal, every single time. So next week we are going to cover bubble defense. I know some of you have been patiently waiting for that one, and I love you for it. I can't wait to get it out to you. I also encourage anyone who has questions or comments to leave them below. I respond frequently and will sometimes pin contributions or rebuttals to the topics I cover. So really, let me know what you think. But I have been Monsieur Demouy. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.
VRware. Our passion is for the future.
Good afternoon, Jacks and Jills. I'm Monsieur Demouy, and this is 3 Minute Meta. In this installment, we are going to cover resets. In the next couple videos, we will be going over neutral zone offense, but before we can do that, we need to touch on resets. A common synonym for reset is a backpass, but these are in fact two distinct things. A backpass is nothing more than the act of sending a pass to a teammate in the direction of your own goal. A reset, on the other hand, is a specific type of backpass with a specific purpose. When you send a reset to your backliner, you are in effect resetting the play. You are restarting your attack effort. When we talked about zones, we also talked about the two stages of attack in Echo Arena, and that these two stages are at mid and bubble. So when you are resetting the play, you are allowing your team to properly set up for an attack on either the mid or the bubble. In either situation, this setup is taking place in a neutral zone, and that backpass, that reset, is being sent to a player in the backfield of that given neutral zone. So when is it appropriate to reset the play? This is actually fairly simple to define. A reset will generally only occur in the following situations. 1. You've just broken through mid and are intending to set up to attack the bubble. 2. You just forced a turnover in your own zone. Or 3. Your first attempt to attack a zone failed and you have maintained or regained possession of the disc. This isn't to say that you should always reset in these situations. Rather, there just really aren't any other situations that will call for a reset. It's an obvious point to be sure, but only because in making it we ignore the nuance of exactly when a reset is most appropriate. Another important factor to consider when calling for a reset is your numbers situation. How many players do they have between the disc and the attack zone, and how many players do you have for a coordinated attack? If your number is smaller, you likely want to reset the play in order to obtain a better numbers situation. One of the most difficult bad habits to break in Echo Arena is the inclination to always be moving forward, which also makes resets one of the most difficult good habits for a team to develop. The core of the breakdown lies in a lack of strategic consideration. If you're in a situation that would otherwise call for a reset, you're likely in a situation where the defense has an advantage. If you continue to drive forward despite being at a disadvantage, you increase the chances that the defense will stop the drive and force a turnover. This is a poor strategic decision, even if it sometimes still earns you a goal. You have to train yourself both as a team and as an individual to recognize your strategic.
Hello and welcome to VRML Channel 1. I'm SputnikKobra. I'm joined by DocEducation and Kid Catastrophe and JG on cams. This is going to be Illumidooty versus Ethereal. How are you doing, Doc?
Absolutely fantastic, Sput. Great to be casting with you and the rest of the team as always. Master tier matchup on 1, getting the night kicked off right. Super exciting. You know, I mean, obviously we're getting close to the Challenger Cup and the finals. Who is not hype?
I'm certainly hype and taking a sip of water for C. Jason and 6 Fathoms Hydrate. We had double hydrates. We haven't even started yet, and everyone wants us to drink water.
That's nice. Good that the community's looking out for us. Shout out to everyone who cares about the casters. One love.
One love and namaste. You know what I'm saying, Doc?
Namaste.
Namaste. And peace be upon you, and peace be upon these teams, because we're about to begin. This neutral joust is about to get started, Doc.
Super stoked. They are fast teams being in the Master Division, and we have 10 seconds until they jump out and go for the headbutt. Any prediction on who's going to get it first?
I'm going to say one of these teams, but that's a fair assessment. So it will be won by Illumidooty now. Illumidooty setting it to the floor. You see that backstack coming through, but it will be picked up by C. Jason. C. Jason under pressure, trying to find that clear through. It's going to be hitting off the G of Voodoo now with it. Voodoo sending that one back, but no one is there. So a little bit of an off-rhythm start as that headbutt comes through.
Oh, yeah, that was a great opportunity for Illumidooty. Now we've got another opportunity, and C. Jason, he's going to take advantage of that one. Ethereal, up by 2.
And the thing that C. Jason loves to hear is when I go, C. Jason. So C. Jason's going to get possession. They'll get it out of their bubble. They'll get it down court, and they can put it in for 2. So 2 points on the board for Ethereal. Now joust advantage to Illumidooty.
Let's see what Duty does. Oh, wow. Getting stunned out immediately. Oh, but Speedy V jumping and getting it back. He's dumped it in. The stacks are together. All 2 stacks for Illumidooty. They are moving very fast. Speedy! He sends it in. It's a tie game.
So Speedy is quick with that, and he's going to put it in. So it's a tie game. A minute off the clock. A quick response from Illumidooty. They would kind of stumble a little bit on their joust advantage, able to recover it and maintain some pace forward. So now a joust advantage to Ethereal, and they're going to slow it down. You see that stack flying right past, and that pass is going to go wide to the tube.
Speedy V and Burbs, though, are able to immediately come back. Their stack is looking really, really fast and efficient right now. Although that pass not good, and Single Shot gets it and clears it in. It'll be picked up by Speedy V.
So that will be picked up by Single Shot. Single Shot now bouncing it back. It's going to be along the floor and all the way to C. Jason. So they're slowing it down. You can see this man marking or proximal man marking. Voodoo's going to get stunned out by Single Shot. So now a man on this defense is out. Single Shot is going to get through. So Voodoo just not paying attention, or maybe didn't hear Single Shot sneak up. He would get stunned, and Single Shot completely uncovered to find that pass and that too.
Yeah, usually you think about, stunning happened on the defense stunning out the offense, but right there it was the offense stunning out the defense, and absolutely, Sput, you picked it up immediately, and yeah, that was the result for the 2. It was just too many. It was like 3-on-1 on the goalie, and just like that, J.L. Graham getting it single shot, going to take a single shot. It's a little low.
He's going to single screw that one up, and almost another screw up. Oh, that's going to be good from Mozzie. I actually kind of lost track, and I thought they were on defense. Thought that was a self-goal, but Single Shot not able to find that one. Be below the goal, be picked up by that offense. They'll lose it for a second, but they had more than enough time with Illumidooty stacks caught in the backfield.
Yeah, Illumidooty made a little bit of a mistake on their rollout. Let's see if they can roll this one out. Mozzie and J.O. Graham having a lot of pressure, really, really great stack pressure right there, making it very difficult for Illumidooty to move the disc forward. It looks like they will get it past mid. No, Mozzie with the steal is going to take a bounce shot. It's going to be a little off, and it looks like, yes, QL Young taps it back.
So now out of the bubble will be picked up by J.L. Graham. So J.L. Graham, formerly Jiggy, I guess he's had another name change. So it's now going to be into the bubble with Ethereal with possession behind the goal, and Single Shot finishing that off. So Single Shot wasn't able to make that long 3, but that's going to be the only screw up from him because that one looked good.
It did look good. It was a beautiful pass from J.L. Graham as well, just holding the disc long enough to draw the defense and then allow single shot to come to the backside. Once single shot had that on the backside that close, it's very difficult for a goalie to block the front and the back like that. So Illumidooty on their rollout. Burbs with the disc right now has Voodoo on the right side, elects to back into that trap area to allow QL Young and Speedy V to catch up. QL Young gets the disc on the left side, has Speedy V on the backside, will likely retreat, but is right now, does in fact pass to Speedy V. Burbs hanging onto the backside of the backboard, although all 4 players for Ethereal are hanging out in the bubble right now, Sput.
So Speedy V now going below the goal to Burbs. Burbs up, and that's going to be saved by C. Jason in the goal. C. Jason not able to find that clear, but that stack coming through will find it. Mozzie now with it, feeding that one forward. It's going to be in the hands of C. Jason. C. Jason has an opportunity at the floor, goes to it. So single shot, doesn't see anything just yet. Going for that cut, and that stops and it come through from QL Young.
Great stop by QL Young. That was that was a very close 2. Right now they're down by 6 with 5 minutes left, but have only been able to score 2. So definitely a little bit of pressure on Illumidooty to get a stop here. Right now, see Jason's doing some work. Although Voodoo is in the area, it looks like he will get it and tap it back. And it looks like Mozzie will go for it. No, it looks like Speedy V will get it, loses it. J.O. Graham back with the disc, takes a shot, and it's a 3.
JL Graham with the flawless looking anchor shot off the wall. JL Graham's always been extremely skilled with these shots. He's been doing this for seasons now, and when he gets to do them, it just looks so good. So now Joust advantage to Illumidooty. They're down by 9, 4 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. They need to start executing.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a beautiful steal and spin around by J.L. Graham. Not a long shot, but a tough angle, and especially the turn like that. So right now, both stacks are together. There's a lot of race. Wow, that was a horse race right there, Sputnik.
And those horses would come through, and this stack coming through, J.L. Graham with it. J.L. Graham under pressure, getting rid of it. It's now at mid. Talk about the speed from these stacks. This long shot coming through, that might be good, and it's going to ding.
Wow. What a beautiful shot, just barely wide. Really excellent, though. Back in the hands of Ethereal right now. They are spreading out along the floor. Currently, yes, they finally do spread out enough so that the defense cannot cover every man. J.L. Graham with the disc has an option low. Will elect for the back pass to see Jason. Single shot over on the right side, currently not engaged. Burbs is going to have to pick up. Passes to Mozzie. Had single shot open on the left side, but it looks like Burbs and Speedy V will get stunned out, and most likely Ethereal will recover.
And the positioning of these stacks and their ability to find their stacks, talk about it right there, not able to find the disc, but their ability to find their stacks and move up and down the court is extremely impressive, and they're able to outpace Illumidooty, and that looked really, really good. See Jason on that cut and placing that one right below the frame.
Yeah, that looked really nice. That looked pretty casual, if I'm honest. See Jason just kind of floating backwards, getting the pass, and almost a no look, just a little bit of a steez. An efficient steez, as Smooth Riding might say. Definitely the right thing to do, and it definitely looked pretty.
And the audience in chat praising JG's camera work for that one. So that's a nice one, JG, and everyone appreciates it. So appreciating it right now is this Ethereal offense trying to work their way out of their backcourt. Now JL Graham with it. JL Graham sending that one to the wall, and it's going to be now in the hands of Illumidooty.
Voodoo with the disc is going to be under pressure from Burbs and J.L. Graham there. They haven't stacked up yet, though. They're still in man, so everyone's moving a little bit slowly. Burbs with the disc. The stack is together there. Single shot with the stun out. They're going to have an option in the backfield. There's no one in goal. They will pass up to single shot, and with a goal wide open with the bounce shot, Ethereal up by 14.
Nice placement from single shot at 15 meters. And above the goal, off the backboard. Illumidooty was in the goal, but maybe they just weren't able to readjust quickly enough to find that save off the backboard. So less than 2 minutes, a 14-point lead now to Ethereal. Illumidooty is not going to take this first round, but they can look to carry some momentum or some type of rhythm into the second one.
Just like that. Three-pointer. I believe that was Speedy V taking the shot, maybe going through off the head of C. Jason. So that's huge because they've just multiplied their score by more than 2 just now.
You know, math, I hate it. But I love this game. So now, I mean, that's why we have you, Doc. You're the man with the numbers. You're the man with the brain that I lack.
I wouldn't say that, but I appreciate the compliment. Mozzie is going to be in the area right now, is on the floor, is immediately under pressure from Burbs. What a beautiful pass. Oh, my Lord. Ethereal is looking absolutely on fire right now.
And they're just tightening the screws right now. In this first round, we're approaching 60 seconds. They have a 13-point lead. Nothing Illumidooty will do will change the outcome of this first round. But they haven't had success against Ethereal in terms of converting on offense, or at least making a difference on transitional play. They've been outpaced consistently. So they need to either stun these stacks, they need to disrupt the positioning that Ethereal has, or do something. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Ethereal is just, they're everywhere right now, and every time Duty makes any kind of mistake, just like that, see Jason and J.L. Graham are just right there, jumping every pass. I mean, they're just moving around the arena so quickly, and, you know, it's just very difficult. Illumidooty is playing very well right now. You know, that pass kind of an exception, but Ethereal just looks really strong.
That they do. So 5 seconds on the clock, and one score coming through with Voodoo finding the 2 points. So that will be the first round, 7-18 in favor of Ethereal.
Yeah, I mean, that's classic Illumidooty. Beautiful passing along the extreme edges of the arena. But I know we've got our sideline reporter, Kit Catastrophe.
I've noticed a lot of things. So Duty with their communication, they keep getting stuck outside that bubble where Ethereal just stuns them out and they're without that defense in the bubble. But once they have that defense, they're really strong and are able to push up on the way Ethereal is playing. Ethereal is playing very, very fast. They do have those stacks, and I've noticed that they pass it down to their stacks. So I believe they're communicating where they want to go, passing it down to the other stack that is there ready to go, and then breaking up that stack once they get into the bubble. Ethereal have been stunning out that defense to keep them from being able to be strong in that bubble. But yeah, a great disc awareness from Ethereal. They're able to stack right to that disc. They may overshoot a little bit because of speed, but they know how to get back to it and pick it up and look for those passes.
Absolutely. So now it's up to Illumidooty to find some rhythm. We always talk about rhythm. We talk about momentum. And it's such an important element of this game and in sports generally. But with that, this is about to be the neutral joust underway.
And here we go. Let's see. Illumidooty got their head on it first. This time it'll be Ethereal. It kind of pops right up top. If Voodoo getting the disc, Speedy V and Burbs are together. Can they get there? Yes, they can. Coming in. Okay. So Illumidooty takes their first lead of the game, and that's significant because they had an opportunity in the beginning part of round 1 to score, and they didn't, and they immediately gave up a run to Ethereal. So let's see if they can start this round on the right momentum.
So they have the first 2 points, 30 seconds off the clock. Ethereal to QBC Jason sending that one left to be picked up by JL Graham. JL Graham feeding that one forward. And Mozzie taking the threes at 17 meters. So a quick response from Ethereal.
Very quick. And on the other side, Illumidooty was playing very aggressive, obviously leaving no one in goal. And once they missed a couple of the passes, you know, that's the difference. It's a game of inches. I mean, there were 2 passes that Illumidooty could have intercepted, and they just barely missed. And then that left an open shot there for Ethereal. So let's see what Illumidooty does. Their passing is on point right now. Voodoo is down to Speedy. Speedy to Burbs. Burbs is probably going to pass back to Voodoo. Has QL Young on the other side, so we'll drop it in. QL Young to Speedy V. Speedy V is going to be not under any pressure, so going to hang out on the cloud there. Allowed the team Voodoo's on the backside now. The stun, but QL Young has the disc to Voodoo. Oh, what a save by C. Jason.
So that went off the frame, and then I think it went off his head, and then he caught that disc. So a good stop from C. Jason. And the shot coming through, that's not going to be on target. It's to be picked up by JL Graham. JL Graham now feeding that one into the bubble. Single shot looking for an angle, and he's going to find it. So now 5-2. Ethereal taking it on that play. So a nice turnover or a nice stop and goal, and then they're able to capitalize on that. But this is looking different than the first round, Doc.
It is looking different. You know, Illumidooty's, I mean, they're playing very well. I mean, they've been playing well. I thought they played well in round one. I just thought Ethereal's stacks were just, I mean, they were just everywhere. Although, look at that. There's an opportunity there. Can they get it? SputnikKobra has the disc. Goal is kind of open, but under pressure, and so we'll have to back it out. It looks like they will have to reset their offense. Voodoo with the disc. Passes over to Burbs, but Burbs moved just right when the pass was coming in, and that means miscommunication is going to hurt them right now as these guys are flying in. JL Graham, he's going to send it in from 3. What a shot.
And JL Graham at 18 meters on the floor is able to quickly find that shot, transitioning from the left hand to the right hand, and then take that shot with no visible pullback on his arm. So that was all, I believe, wrist movement, and that looked really good. So now a 6-point lead. You can see this rollout from Illumidooty. You see that stack go to the ceiling and then fly right back and challenge the QB, and now they'll have possession, but Illumidooty's going to snag it right back and send it for the clear.
Yeah, it's interesting you note that. I also picked that up. That's a very interesting strategy for the stack to actually go past the quarterback and then immediately turn right back around and hit him from behind. I don't know that I've ever seen that done on purpose, and it's an interesting meta.
It's very much done on purpose. They try, because as a QB, you only have maybe a 10th to an 1/8 of a second. No, a 10th to 1/8 of a second to react when you see that stack coming forward at you. So they try and pressure you into sending that pass, and then they react to that initial pass, and this is going to be through the tube, and it's going to be at the ceiling, and just this quick speed from Ethereal now behind the goal, and that one's going to ding off the frame, and SputnikKobra looking for the clear.
SputnikKobra can't quite clear it, though. Mozzie will pick it up the floor, has JL Graham on the right and single shot on the left. Will pass it up to single shot. Single shot has to retreat a little bit, but that's okay. That gives time for Ethereal to set up. Keo Young will go out of bubble and pressure the offense. So there's a little bit of passing going on. Mozzie has JL Graham, but it's going to take a wow, what a pocket shot.
And JL Graham putting his head in that disc. I guess maybe an odd celebration on that shot, but you can see that Burbs saw that angle, just wasn't able to react in time to find that save.
Yeah, I mean, wow, what a shot. I mean, that was perfectly placed. Yeah, the goalie had no chance on that one. Burbs trying to drop it into Voodoo, but a little bit low, and it looks like JL Graham will haul it in.
So JL Graham up to the ceiling, and Ethereal with that forward stack, and that shot might be good. That's going to be close, and it's going to be knocked out of the bubble by Illumidooty.
Disc is low. Voodoo will get a hand on it. Passes immediately over to Burbs. Burbs has the disc. JL Graham, or C. Jason rather, and Mozzie get back. Passes is good to Voodoo. Voodoo takes a shot, or QL Young rather, but C. Jason, what a save. And now single shot's going to clear it through. It will bounce forward. It looks like it's going to be held up. And yes, Mozzie sends it in. So right now, Ethereal just is absolutely dominating.
Talk about reading the angles perfectly. Whether it was the passer, whether it was the receiver who could communicate that, Mozzie in the perfect place to receive that off the bounce from the ceiling. Excellent stuff from Ethereal. They now hold an 11-point lead over Illumidooty.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to come back, but oh, what an opportunity there. A little bit of a missed one. Burbs adding pressure. Mozzie and JL Graham have the disc. Beautiful clear. No stack is quite together yet. It looks like Illumidooty stack will get there first.
So that will be through the tube, and this is a chance for Illumidooty finding their stack at mid. They have this forward advantage, but they can't hit the shot. That back stack will come through, pressuring that offense as they try to get it out of their bubble.
Yeah, a couple of very close misses from 3, and you know, I mean that's just tough. The game is very difficult, and when your shots don't fall like that, even when you're a great player like they are on Illumidooty, you know, it can look. It can just be frustrating, and Voodoo has the disc. Gonna take that shot, but that time it's Mozzie making the stop.
So that will be through the tube, and this is another fast pickup by Ethereal, and they're gonna dunk that one in the bottom pocket. Mozzie able to get it off the wall. 13-point lead. Illumidooty with 3 minutes on the clock. They might have a chance, Doc. You're better with numbers than I am.
Well, so 13 points, that's at least 5 goals. And 5 goals at 30 seconds a goal, 2.5 minutes. There's still time, but it's going to be a barrage of threes, and I just don't know if it's possible. Meantime, I mean, Ethereal is putting on an absolute show. There's another one from JL Graham sending it into the pocket. I mean, they're just having fun right now.
And you can see that Burbs is pushing off that block and trying to find those saves, but he's just not able to. And unfortunately for Illumidooty, that's another 2 points on the board for Ethereal. So this distance that Ethereal is gaining is just maybe too much.
Yeah, a little too much, but both teams still coming together. The two stacks, the double stack from Ethereal is just incredibly... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Mozzie with the duck and the ender and the recovery and the long three. Ethereal putting on a show.
And Flare VR saying Marcy. I think he's talking about Marcy Playground.
We can't sing that songs, but it's not kid friendly.
Hey, they got a lot of other good songs besides that popular one, but that's definitely a joke for the Gen Xers and the older millennials. And now this drive-through, that might be the mercy, and it will. Round 2 is over. Ethereal, 20 points over. Illumidooty, 22-2.
Well, what a way to end it. In style, having fun. I hope Illumidooty had fun. I certainly had fun watching it. What a beautiful performance. I mean, Illumidooty, you can't feel bad. You played very well. Got a little unlucky on some shots, and Ethereal just looked too fast. But right now, let's go to Kit Catastrophe on the sideline.
Definitely a well-played game from both teams here. Ethereal just had that little bit of an advantage. They were a little bit faster. They were more accurate. They could hit those long threes. Duty just, I think, had a couple of miscommunications, and they started to feel that pressure of being rushed, and they just couldn't quite make the connections that they needed to score. And I definitely feel like that is where they went wrong. They definitely had the opportunities. They just couldn't quite get there.
So thank you, Kit Catastrophe, for the analysis on the sidelines. That will do us for tonight. This has been Illumidooty versus Ethereal. Ethereal taking this in 2. I'm SputnikKobra. I've been joined by DocEducation, Kit Catastrophe, and JG on cams. We thank you all for watching, and take care.
And we're underway.
Season 3 of VR Master League Echo Arena is brought to you by HyperX, Asterion Products, Rebuff Reality, ProTube VR, VR Cover, Fixed Gaming, and VRware.net.